Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of the X-Fan Show. The A-Train Arlington Lane back at it again. I don't know where this dude said. He said he was coming. I told him 8 o'clock. I ain't the late one this time. Y'all know how y'all like to depict against Black Americans and make them think that they're late for just everything. So screw you all. But a vastly welcome to you all. Yes, UFL fans on your DC Defenders did do it. And I was privileged to speak with the championship game MVP and Jordan Teamu after the game was over. And if you thought, after hearing all of the news with Bryce Perkins winning the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, that Jordan Teamu didn't have a bit of a chip on his shoulder, it's true. He did. And he showcased it with a performance that was probably one of the best performances in a spring football game. 380 yards, I think, in the air. And then he had 4 touchdown passes to go along with it. It was quite the showcase, especially when they put up 31 points in the second quarter, and it was practically a runaway. Jordan Teamu, 5 touchdowns, 418 total yards. He definitely was the king of spring. And yeah, he did. He did get the awards that counted the most. And I gotta say, that was my first championship game experience, and I wish I got to see more of the people in the spring football community. Shout out to Arabia, who covered the DC Defenders, Maddie Fresh, who was also there in St. Louis, that covered the DC Defenders. But it gave me an opportunity to meet a nice amount of fans, and I'm happy to definitely put them out there. You know what? It's definitely going to be labeled as Jordan Teamu Field, or as Coach Shannon Harris depicted it as Audie West. So, but yeah, I was very proud and pleased to see many in the all football community that showed up. Of course, you know, I've seen James Larson at these games all the time. So that is he's a regular in my opinion. But great seeing guys like KJ, he was there. And one of the main ones, the Dome at DC. I'll give you that one, Fan Zone. I'll give you that one. I got to see Ducky for the first time. And then my guys over at the UFL Pro Football Newsroom with Zach and Ref. So great to see all of them there. David, who's a big Battlehawks fan, he was going to the game whether it was Battlehawks in it or not. Those that Sandy, big fan. Big ups to I want to thank. What, you got the green screen in the back, man?
Well, you know, we've been having issues with the computer, and so the computer just doesn't want to work with me right now as it's being reset up. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. I'm here, so be quiet. As I'm doing it, I'm working on it, so be quiet.
You're actually the late one. But my thing is, you know, I was just thanking everybody that I seen at the game. Definitely happy birthday, Zach, man. And Mary, thank y'all so much for allowing X-Fan Show to keep it with you guys in the suite. And we had a great time.
We did? We had a great time?
I did. I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, listen, my team won. that I want it to win. As you see, I wear in the Defenders hat. And Arlington, you know, the hashtag we started. Hashtag doorman Coach Harris signed my hat.
He as
That way.
doorman. He did do it
As
as
the
doorman.
doorman. So congratulations to the Defenders and our guy Jordan Ta'amu, who Arlington you actually ran into.
I did.
At the
horseshoe.
And later on in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yep, I did run into him. And I said
You
at the
did.
beginning of the show, I said, I asked him, did he have a chip on his shoulder for this? And he was like, absolutely. He said that he told me that he got about 10 texts when Perkins was named MVP.
Yeah.
And he told them, and they told him, he said, we got your back come Saturday. And they did. There was no question.
I mean, listen, Arlington, you know, during that game, we're watching it. And we were like, oh my God, Jordan is going off. I mean, 4 touchdowns in the first half. I mean, just unbelievable the way that Jordan played that game.
Yep.
I mean, that literally might have been Jordan's best career game that he has ever played in spring football. Might be his best one.
I want to answer one of Mike's questions. And
go ahead.
He said, did Dwayne make a single appearance all year? I know he's supposed to attend the season opener, but had playing issues. Lack of support at the top is the crack of any foundation. No, he didn't. He did not. He was not at any game this year.
I mean, look, here's the question you have to ask yourself. Do we really care if Dwayne Johnson came to St. Louis? No, we don't care. Do we know that Dwayne Johnson is supposed to be part of this league? You ask me, I don't think Dwayne Johnson is part of this league. I think Dwayne Johnson is a bum, always has been a bum when he was a wrestler and all of that stuff. So, you know, I'm glad he didn't show up. I'm happy that he didn't show up because I don't really want to see the loser. That's just my opinion. Hey, Arlington, I have an idea, so just take me out for real quick, okay? I want to do something real quick, so just take me out for a sec. No, take me out.
All right, he was getting himself together, but to answer Mike's question, no, and I've spoken with some people after the game about will Rock ever show up in St. Louis, and the answer is going to pretty much be the same. No, because I'm pretty sure he's aware of the response he would get if he were ever to show up at a Battlehawks game in St. Louis. It's not going to be a pleasant one. Now, The Rock's daughter, Ava, who's the general manager on NXT, or portrays herself as a general manager of NXT, she was present. And of course, Danny Garcia was present because she was the one that handed off the trophy to the DC Defenders. And of course, Russ Brandon was present, Daryl Johnston present. I saw Doug Whaley. Said Big Tough Rock don't like booze. You know what? It definitely would not be a pleasant response. I just don't see him being as present as he once was with this league. A lot of that merger stuff, it brought a bad taste in people's mouths. And so because it was more a bad taste, you know what? I'm going to start putting these comments so they can be pulling up as you see them on screen. KJ says, I think as it stands now, he doesn't have enough skin in the game amount anymore to warrant showing up if ever, anywhere in the league, if at all. That's just me knowing how his other businesses are doing and knowing the number of times he made appearances back pre-merger. Like when it was the XFL, I think he was very much all in with the league, all in because he was part of it and it was that consortium and all that stuff. And he really did want to be a part of that. Then when this merger happened, it was going to be less and less more of him. And so he was like, well, I can just do other things. I can do these movies and stuff and make television appearances or show up on WWE events. And I don't need it. I know we look at him and just want to point the finger at him because he's at fault because he is he's the big star in all of this. And I'm going to give slight benefit of the doubt that this is not all entirely The Rock's fault. But the one I will give him fault for is the fact that he would not show up for the things in St. Louis. Granted, the first time it was something that happened and he couldn't make it. And then times after that, it just was like, forget it. I'm like, that's just bad. He says he knows about it. He's still co-owner of it, UFL of the UFL. Come on, Robert, you're gonna have to do this correctly, man. He not have be there. He ex-wife say he's still co-owner. Did you hear how that just sounded? As you just heard me say that, I'm gonna go after fans with that. You better start learning how to talk. Rock was also giving out his energy drink in the XFL. Yes, Zoa was a big part of it. It was a huge part of it. And so, he was able to be more of a marketer out there. But that just did not sit well. And let's not forget the whole thing with the U.S. Army that he was supposed to be doing. He just said, F it, I ain't finna do the rest of this, man. And the Army themselves were mad about that. If you say you're going to put these appearances out, you're supposed to at least do what? A handful of tweets? Exactly. It's a straight up bad look on him and the league for his continued absence. But is that him or is that Daryl Johnston and Russ Brandon and Danny Garcia? They just said, yo, man, just stay away. We'll take the heat for your absences. But that's a whole nother issue. I don't think I'm really trying to give him benefit of the doubt about Rock not playing along with others. I think it's more of the leadership saying, just stay away, man. We'll take care of it from here. You got to remember that Danny is also Rock's manager, Dwayne's manager. So that could play a part in that. We'll take care of business from here and we'll keep pushing. So I guess we'll find out as it continues. But the big thing is the celebration for the DC Defenders. A massive big win for them. I was very surprised by how that game went down. And because in the first quarter, it was a high scoring affair. And granted, it was a high scoring affair the entire game. But my thing is, but he said, to your benefit of the doubt comment, I will say if he did make appearances, he wanted to charge the league or change the league. So they're probably a good bit of option. No thanks, bro. We can't afford it. I'll give it that. Well, leadership told Rock to leave. He probably doesn't want to play well with others. Yeah, and you know what? If you've been paying attention to what's been going on with The Rock outside of the UFL, there haven't been much of positive outlooks and feedback of what's going on. John says Dwayne might not agree with some aspects of the merger. Go back to him not putting out the 5 tweets for the Army as notice. Yep, you definitely can go back to that. But I gotta get back into the whole game itself, because as much as the game wasn't the way we had hoped, you have to give credit where credit is due. Shannon Harris got that team together for the result. We got to remember the last time these two teams had played against each other, Michigan beat the dog sleeves off of DC in Michigan at Ford Field, 38-14. So we're expecting either something similar or it was going to be more tightly contested because it was the championship game. It was a bigger game. Yes, Zach, it was still a fun game to be at. And at this rate, the DC defenders on defense, without question, first 3 quarters of the game had that controlled, you know. It still say you disconnected, brother. It says device is not. It's not showing you, man. You're not coming in at all. I read that from a mile away. Are you using OBS right now, bro? He's using his phone.
What?
You using your phone?
Well, no, yeah, but that's all right. Look at that. Look at that sign.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Can't wait to see it when he actually get it in.
Well, we're gonna be changing. I'm gonna be changing things up here in the near future of the studio and all of. Do what?
Mute the computer or something, man.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. I'm working on it as we speak. So be quiet. You hear me? Be quiet.
Mute the computer, dude. No, I'm talking but I'm hearing myself on the other end, so I can't just be quiet, brother. Sorry.
Wait, what? Oh, are you? Oh, hold on. Let me do this. You ready? There you go. That might be a little better.
KJ said it was without a doubt a big improvement over last season's championship game, competitive for at least a half. Arguably still had a ball game up until the fourth. Yes, because Michigan converted 3 4th and 12 conversions.
It was 3 of them. Yes, you are correct. It was 3 of them. But here's the question. It was a better game in whole, right?
Right.
Because it was a competitive game. But it was sadder because less people were at the game than were before the game in 2024.
Okay.
There were less people there last night than there had been. And that was the sad thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was just sad. It was a sad performance by the St. Louis fan base, which, I mean, doesn't really surprise me. That's just how they are. Fair weather fans. And, you know, you had your diehards and your faithful that showed up, but you had your fair weather fans that were like, Battlehawks aren't in. Well, good. Because, you know what I ask is I ask you, don't buy tickets next year because we don't want you guys there. Plain and simple.
And they listen. If that's the way you're taking it, brother, they listen to that.
Good. Don't buy tickets. We don't want you there. You're bums. You're bums and you're losers. All there is to it. And you can sit here and bash me all you want, because guess what? I don't care. Bash me all you guys want. I don't care. 2 years in a row, you guys have proven your point to me. Proven your point to the UFL world is that St. Louis only cares about the Battlehawks and does not care about this league. So regardless if DC won, and then, you know, you had, what's his name, Arlington, the idiot from here in St. Louis, the journalist, Tom, what's his last name?
I'm not calling that man out.
No, what's his last name? What's his last name?
You talking about Thomas Welch?
Oh, that Thomas Mongoloid. That's right, Thomas Mongoloid.
Why are you going after him?
Because he's an idiot. He's a moron. And then he sits here and says, thanks to the DC for defenders for killing our league. You're an idiot. You are the reason why this league is failing. because you blast it all the time. You talk about how trash it is, how nobody shows up. You bash all these other cities. So yeah, you're a loser. It's thanks to you why people didn't come to the game. There you go. See, support the league. Huh?
I said you entirely went after him, man.
Well, because he's a mongoloid, Arlington. You know me. I just call out stupidity. I call out stupidity. Right?
Yes.
And the man's an idiot. Just like Mike Florio, he's an idiot. I mean, just like all these people, they're all idiots, Arlington.
Okay.
So I'll call all of them out. They're all morons.
And I get it. I get why you do it. But my thing is, at the same time,
yeah.
And we're not talking about that. The UFL fans on it's so much truth to that they blew it 2 years in a row. Yes. See, and that's my thing, man. I don't even think that St. Louis would have showed up even if the Battlehawks did make the championship game.
Oh, no, because Arlington, here's what the excuse would have been, because I heard it. Well, City played. City's playing. City was done at 3. City was done at 4 o'clock. City was done at 4 o'clock. Well, City played. City played. Oh, shut up, you moron. Shut up, idiots. That's all I have to say about that. You're all idiots. All of you. Morons, Arlington. Yeah. Morons.
You need to treat the game.
Treat it like it's the damn Super Bowl. That's right. What you treat it like.
Says sad reality, but St. Louis is one of the dying UFL markets. Interest and attendance is slipping. It went from 40,000 in 23 to 25,000 in 25. Why is that? But also from a league standpoint, man, as much as we sitting here and Russ Brandon going on these different shows and saying that there is interest to keep another year alive. How is there interest?
I don't get it either.
It's like, man, you sitting there like you're Kevin Demoff from 10 years ago. If you just gonna sit there and lie, to just continue to do so. Because I don't see how this is even remotely close of saying that there is success in this league. Granted, the game was fine. It was better than last year. If you want to take that, cool. But the attendance going down in it, and even though I had a good time at the game, all they're worried about is ratings.
Exactly. You know, in Arlington, I'm not going to – I had some interesting conversations at the game, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say with who or whatever like that, right? But, Arlington, I will tell you this. When we have told you guys time after time after time after time again, right, that they don't care about TV ratings, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We are 100% correct. They don't give a rat's ass.
No, about the fans.
They only care about the TV ratings.
That's it.
And we've told you guys, I don't know how many times, but after talking to some UFL officials last night, Arlington, right? I was told they only, the attendance there, they would like it to be better, but they only care about the TV ratings. And that is it. That was it. That's all they care about, Arlington.
Well, grateful enough, you went and found Joe Tessitore to broadcast that game. Because Joe Tessitore did an amazing job this entire year, this entire season with the UFL. Every game.
Hey, you're forgetting somebody also, Arlington.
Who?
You're forgetting somebody.
You talking about his broadcast partner?
Yeah, he did a damn good job.
Okay.
Rogers did a damn good job, Arlington.
Okay.
Give the man credit, Arlington. I don't know why you don't give this man credit. You don't like to give this man credit for nothing. But without him and Joe,
his last name and who.
Well, listen, you could say what you want. His brother's possibly one of the greatest quarterbacks to play in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get over that, Arlington. His brother is that damn good. And he's that damn good as a play-by-play guy. Right there, UFL fan, you're right. You are right. Rogers is very good. Very good, Arlington. You need to quit so much hate, Arlington. You need to quit with the hate, my man. I love you, but you got to quit with the hate. You got to quit with the hate.
Are you finished or are you done? Hi, Renee.
I'm done. I'm done.
Yes, KJ. We reminisced last night about those fan surveys. Remember the Fan Advisory Network?
We do. And guess what? I got one from the league this year, and woo, it was not pretty.
But still, no. Well, here's my thing, though. When we talk about, yes, Steve, it was great seeing you as well, man. And thank you for being a watcher of our show too and supporter. Looks like your phone did a number on you.
No, I did it. I did it myself.
You did that.
Yeah,
we found
out on the phone, and so I got a.
Yes, we did. Then we did find out who the real MVP was.
The real MVP, Arlington. You know who the real MVP is?
Shannon Harris.
Me, and you. We are the real MVPs of all this because we've worked so hard. But
I'm not taking full credit. And the reason I'm not going to take full credit because there are two other men that have done this at just about the same time as us.
Oh no, those two are idiots. The ref and Zach are idiots. They're morons. They're not the brightest tools in the shed. You know, I love both of them, but you know,
hey.
Look here, like what our guy Juan said right here. He goes, the ratings is where they get their money. With Pizza Hut and the others, you see those opportunities coming to the league. They are having conversations to start the league early in March next year. I feel that will help attendance. Listen, I will have to agree with you. I think they need to. What's up, Excalibur? I think they need to start. I don't think they need to start it in the beginning of February. That is just absolutely asinine.
Absolutely not.
Right after the Super Bowl, that is asinine. That is stupid. I think it's dumb. Arlington, you know it's dumb because we're working on that piece. You've seen it. You've seen it, Arlington. So be quiet. In a couple weeks, we're going to have this big, giant piece for all you people. And then you guys are going to hate us again, going, damn it.
No, they're going to hate you.
Dirty and, Spurgeon, our A trainer, right again, as always.
No.
What?
Okay. Go ahead, man.
What?
Oh, no.
Look, I think they need to start it like a week or two in March.
Listen.
Not right after the Super Bowl.
There is nothing wrong with having a week on Saturday or Friday. You don't have to do it Sunday, man. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with a Monday night game or a Thursday night game that they attempted to do when they were back in 2023, right? It was on the wrong network. The problem, though, is finding a legitimate space for it. Because when they did it back in 23, Thursday, the Monday night game, they were all on FX. Remember when FX was a part of this group? And so because FX was a part of it, because it's owned by who? Disney. And because of that, because of all of that, that was where it became confusing, right? And I don't think it's a problem to start it when the conference championships are. If anything, they need a couple extra weeks in a bye week. They need one so they can take a breath.
So here, I mean, here's the thing I'm hearing. Or am I hearing it?
Just say it.
So they're talking about doing it beginning of March.
Yes.
Keeping the same schedule. Keeping the same schedule that they have now. But throw in some bye weeks in there at certain times of the year, throughout the season, to extend the season even longer. Listen, guys, here's what we have seen, and I'll just give you guys a piece of what we've seen. Beginning of the season, ratings start out right here. And
we actually don't, Kane. We don't need a preseason. Scrimmages, okay, cool. They don't need to be with fans. I'm cool.
They don't, yeah.
I don't need a preseason. Scrimmages, yes. There needs to be full padded scrimmages. I'm cool with
Actually, no. Actually, you don't need to start in February. You don't need to start in February. If you want bye weeks, you don't need it. You don't need to start the bye week. Now, if you start in February and to get away from the games that they want to get away from, like with the NCAA college basketball and stuff like that, right? Then yes, you would need to start it in February. Go ahead.
Here's my thing with it.
Yep.
It's not like it is overpowering. You're only dealing with maybe 1, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most when it comes to that. That's it. I know there are big weeks too, because you're dealing with the conference championships in basketball, and then you're dealing with other you're dealing with the NBA, you're dealing with NHL, that type of thing. I get that. Why you got a second screen up?
Oh, it just did it to me, dude. I told you the computer messed up, and now it's coming back. So guess what? Looks like
it's got a mind.
I have my stuff back. So I'm gonna do this, bro. You ready? Keep going, Arlington. Keep talking, baby, because you're so beautiful.
Whatever, man.
You're so beautiful. I love you.
I don't need a preseason. If the CFL, for God's sakes, can sit here and give me an 18-week season, they can have 3 bye weeks. Granted, you can say what you want about Canadian football and that it doesn't do well here in the States. But guess what? There's a reason they've been around for over 100 years. Because something keeps working where they keep playing football. I'm not saying that the UFL needs to do that because there's more of a startup league, but I'm saying something is why they continue to roll, why the season begins in June and it ends in October. I get it. You don't want to step on the necks of the NFL because the NFL like to crumble any competition that's in front of them. Wink, wink, UFL of 2009. Do y'all remember that one? Wink, wink. Yes, it does. And I have no problem with that. But my thing is it because they're in a different period, the CFL, from June to October, where hockey is not hockey isn't a problem and baseball is only in the city of Toronto? Is that why? Because there's no other baseball in Canada other than the Toronto Blue Jays. So
no, there isn't anymore, is there?
yeah, Montreal's out. Vancouver doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah, you're right. That is true. They are the only. Yeah, Toronto is the only team with baseball, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Kane goes here. It would be cool to have a 16-week schedule with 2 bye teams. Okay, again, guys, this is a league.
2 bye weeks. Don't say teams.
Please. Okay, 2 bye weeks. This is a team. And I'm trying to be nice here, right?
No, this is a team, what's the point?
This is a team. This is a league here that hemorrhages money. So adding longer teams with a lot of their leases for these stadiums, they're expensive because you guys got to remember there's going to be a lot of teams and a lot of these stadiums where their leases that they've had worked out with deals are going to be messed up and they're going to be outdated and all of that stuff. Their leases are. So they're going to have to renegotiate those leases. So how is that going to work? And, I mean, unless they can really do something in Michigan, that lease in Michigan is damn expensive.
Okay.
No, they pay by the league. One, they do it by the league. You know what I mean? Again, UFL Fan Zone. Thank you for watching every week. Again, this is my other complaint, and Arlington has finally got me into believing it. No, we got to stop saying this is a league of opportunity, because what we don't realize is by us saying that, we are hurting our own league because we are losing the players and losing this future stars that we could have. I understand that these guys want to get to the NFL and all of that stuff. But we need to shut up, Arlington. We need to quit saying that we are a league of opportunity. Yeah, I mean, that's what we need. That's what we need to stop saying. Yeah, you're right. It is. So figure it out. $100K, and they have to pay them by the season, because when they do these leases, it doesn't give them. They have to buy all their leases up front. That's what they have to do.
So my question then becomes, what are you expecting on your return of investment when it comes to television ratings? Because for you, like you stated, a league that's hemorrhaging money and fans are walking away from the UFL. They're not believing in the. Listen, they're not. The audiences are yet declining. What makes you think that this league is going to continue when they're focusing on the television ratings? Granted, I understand what most people have been saying, that people's vacations, graduations, and things are all a part of that. I get it. And you got to work your way around it.
AJ's calling me out. Kane, it's half of that plus a 50-50 split with the city and the league, and they don't pay a deposit anymore for St. Louis. So KJ says right here, he says, you really think having the same players year over year is going to boost attendance? I mean, I can tell you this. Does it help in the NFL? Does it help in basketball?
Does it help in
baseball?
Don't they look for franchise players? somebody that's going to stabilize your franchise for the
Again,
rest for a long period of time. And you know the turnover for most of these guys is what, 8 to 10, those that are the franchise guys.
right? Yeah,
eight
like
to
here,
10 years,
of
some longer.
course, we need to pay more. But again, we're a startup league. So, guys, you guys got to realize that if you remember, me and Arlington talked about this earlier in the year. These guys were actually allowed to get endorsement deals. Jay Peasy was going to wear his own gloves, and the league told him no. Told him no. That is a way. That is a way that these guys can make extra money by having these endorsement deals. Listen, guys, what we got to realize, what we got to see, like right here, look. You're right. And even Ta'amu is still looked upon as the QB of St. Louis because that's where he started. Luis Perez, Perkins, what is this? Well, we understand that. But what I'm saying is, listen, we sit here and we say, like right here, UFL Fan Zone put up here earlier that the labor dispute and 3 coaches leaving didn't hurt the season. It did, but the labor dispute was this simple, guys. The players wanted a raise. They were getting a housing stipend. So you know what the league did? You know what the league did? Oh, well, instead of giving you an actual raise, we're going to take away your housing stipend now and give that to you as your raise. So the players really didn't get a raise. They could just use their money now however they wanted to instead of living in a hotel there in Arlington like they were supposed to do, right? Listen, Arlington has said it since 2020, and when the league came back and The Rock and all them took over, he was adamant saying, this league needs to have its own identity and all of that, right? And I was like, no, they need to merge with the NFL. Well, I can tell you this. The NFL is not going to back this league at all. They have their own minor league system. It's called the NFL.
NCAA, sir. Get it right.
Yeah, NCAA. These college kids are making way more money than they were coming out of college to go into the pros now. I mean, you really think, Arlington, do you really think a 6th, 7th round pick guy who is been in college for 6 years and has made close to a couple $1 million and doesn't get picked up by the NFL might look at the UFL and go, I've actually made some decent money in college. Why would I want to go to the UFL and make less than what I made in college?
Because it's professional and you can get tape.
And there you go. So, the way they should, again, right? Again, he said it, and that's all in our article. You're right. The World League failed. The Europe League failed. You're right. It did. Arlington, I think you really want to go where you want to go for these players. They need to be looking at Division II schools, Division III schools, HBCU schools, right? And then pepper in a little bit former NFL players, former Division I players, right? Pepper them in 2 teams. That's where you can build a sustainable league, is by going to these lower tiered colleges, how you look at it. I know, Arlington. I've been doing this research.
No. That ain't even where I'm going to go. I'm going to sit here and say the one word, or a couple words.
No, you ready, Arlington? Do you want me to say it? Do you want me to say it to you?
I'm going to say it.
Ready? Arlington, I concede. I have finally bought into the A-Train way of thinking.
I don't need it. I don't need it now, man.
So there you go. And look, like Michael Lathrop says is right here. The NIL and the transfer portal has significantly had a negative impact on the UFL, which it has.
Because now, you have general managers now.
Yep.
In college football. We just had a general manager on this show who's at FIU.
Jose Jefferson, who's sitting there.
Jose
Did you see his picture driving around in a Lamborghini, baby?
Listen, he's living it up in Florida. All right. But my thing is, even with that impacting, I think the main thing that it's going to need is local ownership. Local ownership is going to need to get behind the UFL. Seriously. I know that seemed like a big stretch, and I understand that that is the hard sell because of what they're doing. But there are some millionaires and some billionaires that could really get involved with this and make this league something better than it needs to be right now.
Wait, I love this. Is NIL money going to be the death of the college football?
It never will. Nope.
Or will it make college football? Or will it make college football the number 2 football in the country?
Well, it is.
Well, I mean, make it into its own basic thing. Like
you're
right
talking
here.
about, like, I get what you're saying. Amateur
why would
football.
local ownership want to buy 5 games? Got a good point. Arlington, why would local ownership would want to buy 5 games?
You wouldn't want to see a young millionaire or something like that, because the old money ain't what it is these days. It's about new money.
Arlington, I'm watching another league.
And remember the casual fan? The casual fan? That's what this league is meant for. Fred Rogan was so right about this 6 years ago. I never thought I would sit here on this show and say that.
I will say this. I don't think all college programs will close, but I do think 2 that
super conferences coming.
I don't think I know 2 college sports that won't close, called football and basketball. You might lose some other ones. Arlington, I gotta kind of agree with here, because we're seeing another league right now that is going on called the if I'm not mistaken, its little letters are IFA, and they have local ownership, but yet it's awful interesting how there are other teams already getting out, and there's already other coaching and local owners that can't pay their bills. So yeah, is local ownership really the way to go for 5 games?
Now, is that the fault of the ownership, or is that the fault of the leadership?
I mean, look, it just depends on how you want to look at it.
Now, how is this working? How is European League of Football working the way that they are?
Well, I mean, because it's a mix between ownership and league and players. It's a mix of all of it. You know what I'm saying?
When the Alliance of American Football came out in 2019, Charlie Ebersol did have a more than decent enough plan where it could have worked out. The problem was they weren't focused on the game. They were focused on the technology.
Correct.
But the plan was to work with the guys that they have, giving them opportunities if they wanted to go back to school, giving them stipends, bumping their pay. That was something that looked really promising. It just was the money. And I think that's going to be the key to all this stuff, no matter what league you put out. Because even when you mention leagues, the big 3 is still continuing.
That's true.
And I'm not even talking about football. I'm talking about the sports leagues, period. The WNBA. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that it wasn't, everything was done in secret in 2017 and 2018. You didn't know nothing about it until 19. I don't think so. Charlie already had something in mind in 2017. So he already was there. I think it took 2 years to get to where they were in 2019.
See, now look right here. Look. You
Now,
want to get
I agree with that.
You want to get these players to keep these players, let these players get sponsorships. I agree. I mean, we've had this conversation over and over about
them
the
rushing.
AAF. And it could have been that the AAF was rushed to beat the XFL, right? But again, this is what I'm saying, because somebody put up here earlier, Arlington, where to go right here. Kane put up IFA ownership has left because not an income. Okay, again, there you go. Local ownership is leaving because what we are seeing, and if you've seen the stuff and have paid attention, well, that too, they did have a terrible TV deal.
That was a fact.
They did have a TV deal. But if you look at what is going on, and it's a very, very expensive – football is a very, very expensive sport to run.
Yes.
So, again, Arlington, I go back and I know, like we had the announcement. Arlington, you know what our big announcement was at the UFL championship that Danny and all of them promoted? Ooh, we're going to have a big announcement at halftime.
You know what it was?
What our big announcement was, Arlington?
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
That was the announcement.
Arlington, if I recall on this show, everybody's like, oh, expansion. Expansion. Arlington, where did we say? What show said that there was going to be no expansion?
This one here.
This is Carl.
Oh, they're talking. They're going to expand. They're going to announce the two teams. Oh, they're going to announce them.
Whoop-de-damn-do.
Then right. The big announcement was enjoy the black who? Because what I saw is I heard one strum of a note and it went bang, and I was like, this is garbage, and left to go smoke. Nothing against the Black Boots. Listen, guys.
There was a concert?
Yeah, well, if you call Bring and a Creed, whatever they were, terrible. Terrible wasn't the... They were just terrible, Arlington. Terrible. Hey, Arlington.
No.
The Black Moots. I'm going to do the last 3 minutes of the show like this because the Black Moots were so good. It woke me up from my dad. Yeah, they were so good. Could have used an actual David. They could have used they could have used a bunch more than just an actual damn stage, bro. I mean, listen, nothing against them. They might have been good back in 2012. I heard some of their early stuff was okay, but the new stuff they had today was just
This is the main reason. Yes, it is.
It is not the main. No, it's not the main reason.
It's
Arlington,
one of them.
damn it.
It's one of them.
Shut up. You know it. You know it is not the main reason.
Okay. All right.
Shut up.
Okay.
Shut up.
You know, doggone well, man.
Stop
That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons, man.
Stop it. David, I'm not saying they were absolutely horrible. I'm not saying they were horrible. It was just, I mean, what did you have? $500 to spend on a band? Hey, look, I'm glad the Black Moots got to play in front of 4,000 people. That might have been the most fans they've ever played in front of. I'm glad. I mean, I can tell you this. There was no 14,000 in the dome. I can tell you that. There wasn't.
Hey, before we go, I want to say it was great seeing the mayor at the game as well.
It was. He looks good.
He looks really good.
He looks good, don't he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Dan. Listen.
Hey, when is the next show again? When is the next show, sir?
I'll give you there was more sub. So I'm glad the Black Moose got to finally play in front of more than 20 people, okay? But Dan, do not ever compare that national anthem to Jimi Hendrix's national anthem. Don't ever. My soon to becoming great, I'm going to be a great uncle here, Arlington, very soon. My nephew is pregnant. Well, his girlfriend's pregnant. My unborn great nephew could have done a better job on the guitar with the national anthem than that guy did. Helen Keller could have done a better job. Yes, thank you, Kane. It was a terrible. Don't ever compare Jimi Hendrix's version of the national anthem to that garbage we witnessed yesterday. Well, am I wrong or am I right?
Why didn't get General Wilson to do the national anthem? Money, sir. Money. Money cost.
Jarrett?
Is Charles Glenn even still with us? I'm not being funny right now. I'm not being funny. Is Charles Glenn still with us? Those in St. Louis. I'm not being funny right now.
Arlington, I'm getting a headache. Yes. No. Roseanne Barr's national anthem version was better than the garbage we heard yesterday.
Then in that case, you might as well say Carl Lewis, who actually forgot.
Carl Lewis was better than what we heard yesterday.
Okay. Thank you, David.
They were both better than what we heard yesterday.
Why he didn't do the ones for the Blues? Never mind. I'm not going to even go there. All right, y'all. When are we doing another show? Is it in 2 weeks?
Next Sunday. Next Sunday.
Okay.
No, you really want to say Roseanne Barr was worse than what we saw yesterday? Huh? So, guys, here we're going to break it down for you for what we're going to be doing over the next few weeks. We are going to be breaking down all 8 teams from the top to the bottom. So we'll be starting with DC, then going Michigan, then Birmingham, then the Battlehawks.
Why Birmingham over? No. Why?
Because Birmingham had better stats than the Battlehawks.
Okay.
Through the season, right?
Dan, it was great seeing you yesterday.
It was great seeing you. And at the end of all of that 8 weeks, then me and Arlington have a very, very big article that we've been working on and putting it together. So be tuned. So over the next 9 weeks, we got a lot of great stuff for you guys.
9 weeks. 9 weeks.
I know. Can you believe that shit?
Oh,
Can you believe that, bro? We got 9 weeks of content left.
That's it?
No, you know us.
I thought we were done.
I thought so too. No, then it's football season. We'll be talking football. If you guys like this kind of garbage, then tune in when we talk football garbage.
Shut up! Tell me who the number is.
I'm going to miss that guy.
I am too. I'm just going to miss this league. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next week. Damn it, Arlington, I couldn't get to it fast enough.